apartment home doesn't cost.
How's your little neighborhood there?
Just fine, very quiet. I wish there were more neighborhood.
Well, they have created a little group there, Lisa, I will say.
Did I miss it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Came out against the IDA.
It's just
Oh.
for the Newburgh tap water.
Well, that's fine.
It's a good thing you missed it.
Is this that one thing you're talking about? Yeah, I don't know if I'll make this next meeting or not. Go ahead. No? Okay, we're ready.
We're ready.
We need to review the minutes of January meeting. Anything that stands out to anybody they want to pick up on or come in on or correct?
This is the meeting where we voted to sell one of the properties, right?
Yes,
January, okay.
136 land.
So Carlos's gang working hard at my Florida chambers just now. This, maybe that's coming up in the meeting, let me think. Yes, okay. I have no, would anybody like to take a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you,
I'll second.
thank you. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, financial reports of January and February.
Well, that's supposed to.
That's you, yeah.
Go through February, because it's kind of included in there, so that's okay.
Oh, fine.
We have the balance sheet. It just shows that, the balance in the bank account at the end of February. What's left in the Land Bank Land Bank Initiative Phase 1 funding left to spend, which was 83,000, and Land Bank Phase 2 left to spend was 1,089,000 and change. The property values. And the second page, it shows where it says, just because this is a big number, due to the HDFC, that's the amount that will be taken out once we sell the properties that are under construction. That just represents the construction costs that have been paid to the HDFC. And the deferred revenue is just money from certain grants like Dyson and Webster Bank that haven't been allocated to costs yet, although it has been spent. So then in the profit and loss, the next page shows the whole year to date compared to last year at this time, but if we want to look at the month, go to the last page. February says we received 6,000 in from Land Bank 1, which that might just be how, or Land Bank Phase 2. But that's just because it was allocated then. We have general expenses that were about 30,000, and a negative net income for the month, although for the year we're in good shape. And that will be kind of double because we're selling 2 more buildings within the fiscal year. If there's any specific questions.
I don't have any. Have a motion to accept the January and February financial reports.
I will motion to accept both reports. Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Quorum check for the March 19th meeting.
Oh, whoops, April, I meant.
April
Say,
18th, is it?
16?
16? 16, got your calendar.
Yeah, 16.
I don't see why I wouldn't be here.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
So far. Just been crazy these days.
Mhm. Gentlemen, what do you think? Yay, wonderful, good. Okay. Okay, let's look at next year's budget.
you don't have? Do you have another budget?
Do you have a budget on?
Yeah, it's a long one, right?
Okay,
Yeah. So this is what we have to submit to the state authority budget office every year. So the highlighted, the rectangle is for this year, starting July 1st.
okay,
You know, it shows the last couple of years what the actual and the projected costs were. And then we also have to project out a couple of years ahead.
Right.
Which, you know, is a little bit of guesswork, but kind of tried to base it on what was anticipated and what we've been spending. So the first item is the 900,000 is property sales. That's a little bit of a guess, because like we don't have anything. That would be if we were able to, by July 2026, renovate a building and sell it. You know, a new round of Legacy City, which we haven't even like really been approved for or anything. But that would be ambitious, but we could also think about other properties that we could sell, just to get some cash flow. So then the next line is, state subsidies and grants, so that's the bulk of our income, which, that would be a combination of, new rounds of funding for the land bank initiative, so the phase one, which is what we've been getting, 200,000 a year for operating. And I'm in the midst of applying for another $2 million in capital or project money, which is over 18 months. So I put in like I think I put 1.5 million for 12 months. I don't have that because I had a little note how it broke down individually, but that's where that number comes from. Other operating, non-operating revenue would be other grants that we would get from banks and private foundations, so total revenue is 3.3 million. And that is based on like what we can spend, like the land bank initiative money we get as we spend it. Then we have salaries and wages, which I was adding perhaps a third person if possible.
Really, you need a third person?
You know, it would be nice. You know, even a part-time.
Yeah.
And professional services is mostly legal and accounting. And I upped it, well, yeah, I increased it just because the project costs, all the projects we've been doing have kind of come with the requisite additional legal costs mostly. Supplies and materials is kind of remained steady, 22,000. Then the next line item is like everything else that we spent. So it's all the project costs, but it's also, insurance, which is a big one, acquisition, utilities, all the, even just like membership to, the Land Bank Association, every other expense that we may have. And that is, that number kind of is, using the grant, like I'm looking at the grant money that we're expecting to come in and how we would spend it on projects and all the other costs. And then, other non-operational depreciation is of this building, which has kind of remained the same over the years.
Do we get, assessments for all our buildings?
I mean, we just use the assessment, we don't get appraisals always. but we
No,
have
no,
assessment.
the assessor's office, did they send you an assessment for this year?
Yes, and I look it up as well.
I'm just curious,
Oh.
because most of us have gone up a lot.
Yep, and we're doing another one again this year.
Oh, be quiet, across the board.
Which is a good thing. It's an opportunity to level the tax rolls, right? When she does a general city assessment, that's a great thing. It's an opportunity to ensure everything's even.
Oh,
I think, okay.
I think in practice, the top tier of homes don't get assessed as a higher a rate each year consecutively than the lower tier of homes, which is common across the country.
Can I ask one question? I'm just looking back.
But not good.
here at those people.
Mhm. Not the red.
Well, no. You've been in this position now 4 years?
Five
Five?
and a half.
Wow, five already.
And without the benefit of 3 years prior, I just see you've got a flat salary. No.
Yeah.
No raise in 5 years?
no, we gave her.
We've
last year.
got, we did like
Last year.
3% last year, and then it was flat for a while, and then there was like a 12%.
Just wanted.
Yeah, we
You know, if it
also,
was flat for 5 years. I would say.
Oh, no.
and it was for a little while, but I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Don't worry.
Yeah, and and we had more, when I started here, there were more people, and we had to reduce staff, so we're hoping to kind
Yeah,
of build it
Yeah,
back
two
up.
people, two more people, right? Was there
At one
four?
point, yeah,
Right?
Two and, yes, two more.
4.
Yeah.
we basically had like 3.5 people for a while.
Yeah, was Aaron full-time? I think
Not
Aaron
while I was here, we had an admin person full-time, and we had Diana was here
Diana.
part-time.
Yeah, but before that, Aaron Cousins was.
Oh, yeah. So. It's pretty bare bones.
Yeah, and we need
But
to.
you're getting it done with bare bones, right?
Yeah, I
But what more?
I guess
mean,
one
we
more,
rely a lot on consultants, which is,
Yeah.
often the case, so small nonprofits, so.
I guess one more part-time person would help.
That would make a huge difference, and,
So did you say you budgeted for that?
yeah, I increased the staff line item.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's my admin.
yeah, I think that's it. Office manager.
Do you think one more person full-time would significantly reduce consultant costs?
We can't afford it.
Yeah.
We need a revenue plan to operate.
But I think, yeah, I mean, the consultant costs are kind of the consultant cost, like we have to pay architects a certain amount. We're not gonna have an architect on staff, that's mostly what the consultants
Yeah,
are, like
something
legal
beyond.
and architect and accounting.
Put your ears out, just see if you know anybody who's got some experience and.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to
Okay.
have as well, like a project manager, considering some of the, the amount of projects we're starting to take on.
I have someone who I think would be good for that.
Okay. So, I mean, so we'll see what kind of money we get from the state and just I just found out today that, with the state budget process, we were requesting additional funding for the land bank initiative. And, it wasn't in the governor's version of the budget, but both houses have put, or, you know, the, whatever you call it, the one house budget. The Senate and the Assembly have both put in $50 million for land banks, so
Whoa.
like 10 million for admin and 40 million for projects. So hopefully, then that's kind of what happened last year. The governor didn't put it in, but then the legislature did, and we wound up getting money. So, you know, what I'm applying for now is money that already is allocated to land banks, so that's not an issue, but just going forward in terms of viability of land banks, it's important we keep getting funding.
Do you anticipate any issues with any of the funding? Because I know that some of the organizations that receive HUD funding, there's an issue.
Right, we don't get any HUD funding. We just did get money that came through HUD from the county with our Legacy City project, but that's been spent. But we don't have any other federal funding. Pretty much everything's state. Even with the other projects, it's all kind of like state programs. So, I mean, eventually, I guess there'll be an impact of, you know,
Yeah, down the road,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I think once they pass their budget, once the federal budget, the next federal budget gets passed, then that's going to be, every state's gonna have to reassess
Whenever
what they're
that
getting from the
happens.
federal
if
government,
that happens. Yeah,
September.
so this is, that's the proposed budget for the coming year. With the caveat that, you know, we don't know if we'll be approved for the full amount that I'm applying for the land bank initiative.
What about like our individual like fundraising efforts?
Like
Especially with the
donors.
Hudson Valley gives coming.
Yeah, I mean, I did sign up for that, haven't really done much other than that.
Okay.
That hasn't brought in a huge amount of money, you know, like you have
But
to
that's
put a
a
lot of
plus.
effort, yeah, you have to
Yeah.
put more effort into
Yeah.
getting donors,
More
the
advertising,
bank
more-
donations have been like another way that we've gotten like 10,000 here and there, and so I have two that I'm waiting to hear back on, but yeah, I mean, doing fundraising would be great. And I can let everybody know more about the Hudson Valley Gives, which is May 17th.
Yeah, and they have something, I went to 2 years ago, like how to get people, if you're signed up, you go to a meeting, how to involve, you know, what media to use, how to get the word out. And some of these people are really good at this fundraising. They have all sorts of chains and stuff, but you need bodies too. So whenever that next one is, I might have missed it, I'll go to it and get some ideas, but mostly it's gonna be a lot of either phone calling or emailing or texting or Facebook pages. You know, please consider this kind of thing. But I'll get more information out. Okay, anything else on the budget? Okay,
We have to
so
vote.
we need to vote.
Oh, okay,
So we vote to.
their glasses about
approve
this,
this, right.
sorry, I should bring that next time.
What about your, health insurance benefits? You're anticipating a little increase in that, right?
Yes, I mean, because it does go up every year, it seems.
But you have the 265 right now, right? For the proposal,
Yes,
so there's room there, and depending on if
Right.
you hire somebody. we
and
can
I
play with that
increased,
number.
the other employee benefits.
Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Yeah, so, you know, as those numbers, hard numbers come in,
If the transfer of properties from the city happens in a considerable number, does carrying cost for larger number of buildings?
Hmm,
Like
good question.
where do we reflect that sort of?
Well, you need to. You have to account for property maintenance.
Right.
Snow removal, and then also any dumping that may happen.
I mean, basically, how we've been paying that is through the land bank initiative funding. We did put some money aside for that. And just other revenue. There's no other way to fund it.
Yeah, okay.
And you hope it doesn't snow very much.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers and toes. Yeah, I mean, that is something, you know, that it would be a big bump up. And I should say that, I'm putting in that the 2 million that I'm applying for land bank initiative, I think, does include the acquisition price for those buildings.
Okay.
Or mostly lots. Yeah, I mean, insurance is, you know, a big factor as well.
That's, yeah. Alrighty, are we ready to take a vote? Alrighty, anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the proposed 2026 budget.
A second.
Thank you. All in favor, aye, and hands? Aye. It's carried. All right. Legacy City Access Program.
So we have, you know, the last two buildings, 136 Lander and 39 South Miller, we have the certificate of occupancy for both. Which is great.
Congratulations.
Have, you know, doing our last requisition for the, you know, remaining retainage. On both properties. We just had our final inspection with, the bank's engineer yesterday, or this week.
Yep.
Yesterday, so we'll be getting hopefully their, letter of substantial completion. We're having weekly calls with, the buyers' attorneys and the bank, their banks and, the state and all the lawyers. So moving ahead with those closings, and we have a tentative date for April 2nd for 39 South Miller, and 136 Lander is a couple weeks behind that. But we do have, we're trying to close both before April 26th or 25th, which is when our construction loan matures.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like we'll be able to make that
Oh, good.
pretty easily.
Okay. How about 128 to Four Ways, 44 South Miller?
So we have ongoing work at 128 Du Bois and 140 Chambers. We just got some requisitions for those, and they're moving along fine. And we asked both contractors to do additional work because we have to use up the rest of our funding by the end of, supposedly by the end of this month. I requested a second extension. So we need to do that because 44 South Millers is stalled right now because because of the whole way that asbestos has to be addressed. So we put the scaffolding up. There was some asbestos in the roof material, that's still intact. And so then you assume that everything that has been collapsed into the basement, which we're calling the pile, is contaminated, is treated as hot. So then we're working with Quest. They submitted a request for a variance from the Department of Labor, and we're proposing that we have Carlos work on it and still do the work, and that his workers do all the stabilization that's required. Like you can't really just like do the remediation without first stabilizing the structure. So our proposal is that we have them supervised by an allied trades licensed,
Yeah, the asbestos.
contractor and Carlos and his workers will have to get special training and use special,
Yeah, that's a big deal.
protections. So we have a plan and we're waiting for the Department of Labor to respond, but that just means that it's taking a while to start up that project, and so I've moved that to the next round of funding. And so had to use up some additional funding for, because we already had contractors on site at 140 and 128 Du Bois.
There's been an army of people at 128.
At 128?
Yeah.
I never see that many people.
Oh, I see them almost every day.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we had a walk through there the other day, with Jeff, our architect, and, he identified some things that he thought they could do, which was basically just continuation of some of the rough framing that they're doing,
Nice to see steps out front.
yeah, they put in steps and, stairs and
Secure it
inside,
well.
yeah. So there's a lot more that could be done at that building, but it would require a lot more money, so we're holding off on that for now. 140 Chambers, Carlos's team is there, and they're gonna, they're adding to their scope lolly columns in the basement, and all the stucco work on the outside and some other exterior work. But we're essentially trying to
That came
protect
up
it.
okay. The stucco was okay.
It's in bad shape.
Oh, testing wise.
Yeah, there wasn't,
That's great.
So that's moving along, and, so that's where we are with those, and then, I'm just applying for the new funding to continue working on more buildings.
Okay, how about this Lander Street properties?
Well, first I had the Restore New York project, number 3. 72, 76, 78 Lander, we're just continuing working on the plans there. We have the structural engineer engaged to provide, stabilization plan.
Okay.
And, the architects are working further on the design. We have some updated drawings there. And we just got the license agreement with the city for 61 Campbell, so we need to get a survey there and then do an RFI.
What's our idea with that?
So there's this existing carriage house that is falling, it's like remains of, and so, we wanna see if we can put a cottage. And,
I think this is.
yeah,
Thank you.
Would that be considered a dwelling unit in the back, or?
yeah, we're gonna see if it's possible to put like a 2-story, 2-bedroom cottage. We'd have to get a variance of some sort.
Well, I know that I spoke to Ally about dwelling units, because, some
the
of my.
ADUs?
Yeah, the ADUs.
Oh,
Some of my constituents are asking about it, and.
yeah, it kind of would be an ADU, except it would be on its own lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be
Not
part of
really
the whole,
attached to the house.
it would be part of the whole site plan, but, it's like a small lot that just has a
Right,
skinny driveway and then this.
So
carriage
that's
house
street access.
to Campbell, yeah.
Okay.
74 Lander. I don't know. if
It's been stalled.
I know.
Yeah.
And it seems like the owners are starting to sell things off.
Oh, they have other, yeah,
They listed a whole bunch of things last week.
not this one though.
Not this one, but anything that it sounds like requires major cash to complete is not happening.
I wonder because they put a lot of money into it already, like, I don't know what they
Oh,
wanna.
The asking price was high, right? I think it was pretty.
Yeah, but it's not listed anymore, I don't think. 74 on the corner. It might be worth exploring, because it would be amazing to have a contiguous
Yeah,
run. I tend to think that they might be willing to make a deal.
Donate.
I don't think they'll donate, just a guess.
I'm just wondering, because I think they spent like at least 250 on it, and then they put in a lot.
Yeah, there's still a lot to go though.
Right, but I'm just like, we don't have like a 500,000 or whatever.
Oh,
you
I
know.
don't think it would be 500,000.
250 is a lot.
Let's see, I'm pretty sure it's not listed anymore. Sorry, anyways, go on. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, no,
that-
that's, I mean, we've
Yeah.
definitely thought about that, I just didn't know if they would be willing to, what they would be willing to do.
Most things are on the table right now,
Okay,
if they're not very close to being rented.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of property.
Yeah.
I mean, it might also be worth switching out with maybe something else that we were gonna spend money on
What's that?
with the city. Cause there are a couple of them that are kind of high. So, yeah, we're moving ahead with that, and I've applied for additional funding to do the stabilization work and to complete the pre-development, and so that we can engage, do an RFP for a co-developer. All within the next year and a half, during, the next phase of the land bank initiative funding. So that's where we're at with that. And then with the Lander Street lots, I'm meeting with Diana tomorrow. That's been, not that much has happened with that. See if she was focusing on the other project. And we have to get more funding to continue. But I did propose in the next funding round to do the pre-development work on that and do an RFP eventually for a co-developer, and I'm looking into all the funding options for new construction. There's this program AHOP with the state for new construction for home ownership. That would be paired with a loan. And looking at the models for that, for like a condo, affordable condo, probably.
Amazing, if you did it, yeah, very rare.
And you get additional, with the AHOP program, it's like, I don't know how much this makes a difference, but it's $20,000 extra on top of the 200,000 per unit if you do net zero.
I bet that money will run out. I'm just saying.
So we're looking at, can we do that? Like, that would be very,
Yeah, that'd be great.
innovative. There's actually a net zero building in New Paltz that was built as a rental and now they're going condo, but it's, it's market rate with the like 10% affordable units in it.
Zero place,
Yes,
that's gonna be very tricky,
what, to do here?
to know,
Oh.
even up there.
Yeah.
It's proving to be.
But there's a lot of pushback on it even. For the costs.
Just. Yeah, I mean, they've gotta hit a certain number there, is the overall investment in that project. It's probably one of the most advanced buildings.
Mhm.
It's, you build all these incredibly complicated systems to achieve energy efficiency, and then you hand that over to, excited homeowners who have no experience,
Right.
and it's just very complicated. I mean, the building systems there.
Right. I know, I mean, Rupco is a net zero building that's a rental in Kingston, that's like 56 units.
Keith also built that.
Okay, yeah. At least in this case, we would have state subsidies.
Huge,
Zero Place in New Paltz, it was just a market deal,
they had subsidies,
so they had,
that's sort of.
right, that's true, there's no survey. But this would be on top of anything like that, there's state, like the affordable housing program and land bank initiative.
220,000 unit plus, land bank money plus construction on
Yeah,
you're there.
Yeah.
Right, and you can pay off the construction loan with sale price is what is supposedly is working in other projects. But I asked Madeline oversees that, the former director here, and she was gonna provide some models,
Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah. So, well, that's another, big project we'll be focusing on the next year and a half, 3 years, 4 years.
That's impossible.
Yes.
But so we'll get back to focusing on that. That'd be exciting to be able to build something like that
Yeah,
here.
it would.
Then should I just go down the
Yeah,
list?
just to 143.
143, the closing is, happening. We thought by the end of March, it's probably creeping into mid-April.
But they're there. I'm sorry, I know I missed the last.
Yeah, so we are providing the 288,000 gap funding for them, and,
Is it loan or grant?
it's a grant with a enforcement mortgage. And we're on weekly closing calls with them and CPC and HCR. And so they're just working out, is their contractor gonna be a co-developer and like all these little last minute things and, all the requirements. But that looks like it's gonna be happening in the next few weeks.
Good, okay. Been a while.
Yeah,
Are they gonna try and start immediately?
yeah, they're waiting, they have their permit they're just kind of ironing out last details with the building department. I think they'll be getting the permit any day now.
Great.
And yeah, their plan is to start right away. We need to spend that money, so part of the money we're giving them at their construction loan closing for pre-development costs, but then there's like $204,000 in hard costs that we're gonna reimburse them for. And we really need to spend that ASAP because we have to spend down our grant, so we're really putting the pressure on for that. And we're saying they have to spend it by May 15th. So,
They have to spend the grant money by May 15th.
yeah,
They close in April.
yeah, but they said they have all these, they have a lot of that already, I don't know, deposits to their subs and stuff. And they're gonna go,
Okay.
Right, Nick?
they're gonna throw down a foundation and, they gotta demo the garages that are there and site work, so they can kind of.
Yeah. You can
Let's
blow
hope for
through
good
a lot
luck.
of money quickly. So.
Okay. 146 South Street.
The last message I got from our attorney was, I haven't forgotten you. We'll
That's
email you
reassuring.
what the court says.
Wait, I thought the court refused to hear from or something? Court refused their.
No, that the purchaser put in a response.
Saying
But,
they did.
and then he asked for a, what do you call it, like a meeting with the judge, conference, and then I think he now has to put in some motions.
Thought they disappeared or something.
No.
The purchaser disappeared, but then I just noticed they put in windows and doors.
Yeah. With no permits, no.
Yeah,
No permits?
so I let the attorney know that, we need to
Yeah.
do something now.
Okay.
But
I didn't
if
say
they have
anything
no
to Jeremy,
permits, then
but
that
There's no
isn't,
permits.
that will help our case.
Yep.
Um,
They're all vinyl.
yeah, I noticed they're glaringly white.
Good,
Cheapest stuff they get.
Well, if he has his
Special or
family
something.
living in the building, he's gotta put windows.
They're not living there, no one's living there.
Oh, my goodness.
So kind of push that along.
Yeah, we've got when people aren't answering, they're kind of stuck.
Well,
Tell me about
they
it.
should stop work order at that building
Did you report it?
immediately. I mentioned it to Jeremy, but I'll write it out to him.
Which one,
Also, I
Right,
put it on
codes.
ClickFix too, I
Yeah.
put everything on ClickFix.
which one is
My
this?
reports get deleted.
I mean, can we just
Sign
write
my
to the,
name.
can we just
They're
write
like,
to
oh,
the
there's
building
another one coming in
department?
for Carson.
They do, they delete them.
Which one are you stopping for?
Like
This
this,
146
South, he's on the list.
they've ripped out all the windows. The door wasn't really there, but
Without a permit.
it's all vinyl, they just shoved it all in.
This is a shell
And
that,
who knows what else they've done,
They have done electrical too.
this is a shell they took over from,
we sold it to
as
them,
a shell
yeah,
to renovate.
and it was in very bad shape,
Okay.
so,
Yeah, the water damage was insane inside.
But they didn't get approvals, they just started. Let's do that.
5 years after.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is
Let's get there
other stuff
overnight.
happening on the stretch. We had one of the neighbors before us last week. Nice plans. So be nice to have this one not be
Yeah,
empty.
Okay, I'll call codes, make a complaint.
um. So then the 62 Campbell, they requested another extension.
How many do you get?
We don't have a,
You don't have a policy on that? You should really have, we should have a policy.
Yes, that's what
If
our.
we do, the
need
city
to
does.
update.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we do. I think
Well,
it's
you wanna
only
just
3.
piggyback, yeah.
Yeah, let's just do the same thing.
That's this big one?
no.
No, it's the little one.
This is
I
right.
mean, 3
They
is
have
there.
the
They're
new windows and the
You haven't
cornice
done it, you're
on.
not doing it.
He's a mill worker, he,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's-
does,
yeah.
Mid-Century Modern.
he's a nice guy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, basically, it's just going really slowly, because it's like him.
they've been making progress. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch it.
They're good ones, I wouldn't beat up too much on them.
They just, is this their second extension or the third?
I'm just wondering, I read the letter, now I don't know where I put it.
It's right here.
How many extensions did we give the Washington Street people?
80.
Yeah, I know, right?
We never
Oh,
really,
Washington Street, that wasn't, we never really got as
because we never
far.
closed with
Yeah.
them, so they never got to the point of,
Oh, okay.
like, you have 24 months to.
Was that the way to do it?
Kidding.
Don't close. Just keep going.
I think with work in progress, we should,
I mean, what are we gonna do? Like, they've already invested all this.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
not
it's the
trying to
same
be
thing.
meanies.
back here, like they are suddenly in motion.
So yeah, 38 Lander is the other one. They just started though.
In a big way.
Now they're going-
Okay, well,
Yeah, no, it's good.
Our
So,
resources mobilized. over
yeah,
there.
not to mix things, but I mean, so at 62 Campbell, they've been working just very slowly and steady, for the last 2 or 3 years. And now it's like mostly interior work that they have to do to complete it. 38 Lander, they were supposed to have been done in October and they basically just started. I mean, they went through the land use boards and got their approvals and permit and everything. But they were delayed in initiating the work. But now they're saying it's gonna be 3 months, which I keep on telling him, like, there's no way that you could do that in 3 months.
3 months? Wow.
Couldn't build a new building in 3 months.
But he's asking for a year to be safe,
and when did he acquire the property?
October 2022.
Okay, so not quite as bad as Campbell Street.
No, but like Campbell, they started work and got, like here, they just didn't.
Well, give him an extension.
Well, and also this other
Yeah,
building
okay.
is not.
34.
34.
So
it's-
34 Lander, which we sold the same day as 38 Lander to a different person. It was very difficult to make contact with them again, and they finally reached out and they said, well, we tried to get a permit and we didn't know we had to have architectural plans.
That's not true.
So then
Oh,
we got
you'd
an
be
architect.
surprised. But people come in, oh, what did you need?
Well, I
Well, I mean-
had the conversations because I.
Yeah, and so did I
Yeah.
mean, like, we definitely said all of that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's, yeah.
Yeah. And,
He's also a builder.
he's a builder and like has done other buildings in the area, and he lives in Newburgh.
What's his name?
Ricardo Santos.
Hmm.
Nice guy, you know, he just seems a little like unclear about. what it is.
Masonry is in increasingly bad shape.
And it's a, you know, it's a really tricky building, the way it's all cut up and everything.
It needs an architect.
So he has an architect now, but the architect contacted me and he only had the existing plan, you know, drawings. And then he's like, I had death in the family, I'll get back to you, you know, and then that was months ago, and then he's like, he's unresponsive, and then Ricardo finally responded to me again, he said, has Don gotten back to you? He won't answer my calls, so I was like, I think you need
Uh-oh.
a new architect.
That's, yeah.
I know somebody.
Yeah.
We can get you one, hon.
And, he requested a call with me and then he never responded, like when I said, well, you know, where to call. So there's a little bit of that happening.
Sounds like we should light a fire there, because I do think the front of that building that arch is failing.
I mean, I have threatened, you know, I have said that we could take the building back, but I don't know if we need to like have a legal.
Well, I mean, could we
We could
provide
write
a
it
list
down
of,
instead
of local architects and say, you need to make contact with someone, here are, you know.
Well, who's getting paid? It's usually when an architect drops dead, it's because they're not getting paid. So I don't know if he's been paying this guy or not. But that's a great, you know, we're gonna take your building back, here's a list of architects.
Yeah, I mean, use whoever you want, but here are local architects who, you know, could reach out to.
I mean, should we give them like a deadline?
I
Yeah,
think so.
I
I
think
think
so.
that building, especially with work happening, I mean, 38 coming with an extension request.
Well, the guy
seems-
from 38 was like, maybe I could purchase, or I was like, why don't you just finish one
I remember
building?
that.
So yours.
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, it's problematic with the building in the middle is what makes it really,
Quite complicated.
yeah.
Okay,
So 60, I don't know if we wanna go one by one here.
I'll move that we approve the extension request for 62 Campbell.
And this is the first one, right?
Yeah.
right, but they're busy bees with pictures.
There's, yeah, they have a bunch
Track
of
of
pictures in there.
62
Seconded,
Yeah, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Everyone, okay. Now,
And I should also say 62 Campbell's directly behind these three buildings on Lander that we're looking at.
and they're showing, you know, now, so, and 38 Lander. Send an official letter saying,
This is the one, no, they're
That's the one for
working,
motion.
he's asking for a 1-year extension, they're already in process.
okay,
That's the Prince Holman is the one.
oh, so is there anybody we're saying put a deadline on?
That was 34 Lander, wasn't on.
34.
I didn't put that on the.
Oh, okay. So 38, we're going to, make a motion to grant another 1-year extension?
And is it 1 year that we typically give?
Yes.
Okay. And
They should be
then-
able to complete that within a year, and then 3 months is wholly unreasonable.
It says we'll only need 3 months,
It's
but
the
give us a
same
year.
contractor.
It's like the
as
windows, right?
Oh, different, that's a different one.
That's,
Oh,
That was the
Campbell,
first one. The windows are definitely not
on 30.
in 38. I think they seem to be doing very nice work.
Okay, a motion to extend, 38 Landon for 1 year.
a motion.
Thank you, thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
It's great. Wow.
like rebuilt this whole extension
Yeah,
itself.
it's great.
Yeah, no, they're gonna do a great job.
Yeah.
There's still-
This is Campbell. Oh,
Yeah.
Look at that backyard.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of property.
Wow, look at those
Yeah,
cornices.
it's really,
It's cool. that-
He
that
made
the
the-
rear
he
made
area,
his
because
own
they have,
windows.
like, little
He made the
Mm.
window.
exterior.
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, that bump out, and it's like kind of so
family
internet
across the street
Mhm.
came
but
in,
still.
they wants to go to fix their front porch.
I mean, adds a whole nother room, like.
Sure.
What's happening.
Maybe it's that, I don't know. Anyway, that's great.
Okay, any other business? I have nothing, you have nothing, I got nothing. Meeting adjourned. Next
you.
meeting,
Thank you,
April
everyone.
16th, RSVP,
Huh?
RSVP for next month's meeting.
So May, there's a land bank, conference in Oswego again.